Hi, good morning. My name is Jose Arzuaga, and today we'll be talking about bulk transport and its implications. So, for starters, transportation is a significant topic within operations management, especially in a globalized world as the one we currently live in. It has become increasingly more common that goods are not consumed in the same places that they're produced, packaged, or sold, and they're often transported through many places and types of transport to reach their final customers. This has essentially been the norm for many decades already. So the main forms of transport of products at this scale that we're talking about, which is bulk, are rail, ships, trucks, and pipelines. These all have different purposes and are ideal for different types of products. For example, trucking provides a closer service, which is often door to door. This tends to go well for retailers and those who receive a big deal of stock that needs to be delivered to places which can only be accessed by roads. Shipping and rails are usually for delivering a large number of items or products which have to travel far distances before they can arrive at the hubs for distribution. And finally, pipelines are for long distance transport of liquids and gases to the area they're being consumed or used for further processing. Then, when going deeper about the issue, which is most pressing for the types of goods which are transported on the highest volume, is economies of scale. Because these goods have relatively low prices and can only be profitable if sold at high volumes, companies make the effort to cut costs and increase slim margins by reducing shipping costs through increasing efficiency. This efficiency can be achieved through many means, such as increasing the size of cargo ships and trains, innovating in the technology associated with the use of fuel, or by standardizing the containers, as was the case with ISO containers in the vehicles and ports. This standardizing allowed for automatic handling of and transfer of goods nationally and internationally. So this all has been the norm, of course, already for a couple of decades, and each innovation has been making transport more efficient and less costly. One such example that I personally know of increasing efficiency through innovation that cuts cost and bulk transport is the freight train that connects the coal mine my father works at with the Santa Marta port, which is a place where a lot of things are shipped from Colombia and where coal is shipped across 72 countries. So the company has had operations in the country since the 1980s, and it has had major innovations in the transport of its main product, coal, from the interior into the coast. Initially, the company made use of trucks to transport the coal from the mine to the coast, which posed a significant issue because transportation costs were significant relative to the cost of the cargo, and because the capacity was limited by the road quality and truck availability. For this reason, the company chose to establish relationships with the corporation that managed the local railroad from the general area of the mine to the main port. The corporation to which the concession is given to has also had significantly been investing in construction of parallel lines which allow for higher flow of products. Another issue arose, which was the fact that the coal to be shipped was not loaded directly into the boats and ships, but rather was supplied by a smaller ship that went from the dock into the bay and loaded on the sea. This problem was solved by increasing shipment capacity through the direct loading system, which is a system that allowed for ships to connect to the dock and be loaded with a conveyor belt. The system increased the capacity to its highest amount ever, which is 60 million tons per year, which is actually not used to its full capacity, but allows for a lot of flexibility and to reduce cost on each ton that is loaded onto the ships. Another significant issue that relates with transportation at these levels is that there's a lot of environmental costs associated with it. The way that it is most related to cargo ships is the waste that they have, which is usually more related to gray water and other materials that are thrown above board. But the reason I mentioned this is that one of the reasons why the direct loading system was developed was as a response to an environmental emergency. One of the ships that loaded the cargo in the bay was about to sink, but in order to prevent that, it needed to unload a part of the coal from the boat into the bay. So tons of coal were dumped into the waters. And this created a significant damage to the marine ecosystem. This is only one of the potential dangers and effects of large-scale international operations that depend on ships and other forms of boat transportation to work. But one thing that is very significant is that we have to realize that our world depends on those types of shipments to actually function. So essentially, it's important for governments, organizations, and companies to continue innovating and continue regulating in order to allow for less costs, higher margins, and to reduce the environmental impact of these modes of transport. So thank you all. Have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation.